Hey, Jess.
Hey,
How are you feeling today?
I'm a bit sick, but otherwise I'm feeling great.
Okay, starting. So I'm not gonna consume much of your time. I've just a quick one for you.
Yeah,
Firstly, what is weight loss to you?
sure. Weight loss is a whole lot of things. I
Uh,
think it's a very personal journey for each person. So, I think weight loss starts in your mind. Actually, before it starts in the gym, before it starts on your plate, before anything like that, it starts up here.
okay.
But for me, my weight loss journey basically consisted of recomposing my body. So
Recomposing your body.
yeah, so wanted to switch out the weight that I had that was in fat and exchange that basically for building muscle.
Okay.
So what that means is that I was trading off fat mass, so my weight in fat, and I was trading that off for building muscle, which then meant that my scale weight didn't change very much in the beginning.
Okay.
So what that means, and for somebody that's trying to lose weight, is a very, very scary thing. When you stand on the scale after you've been training for like 2 months,
Okay.
and the scale has not moved
Mm.
at all, or maybe moved by like 1 kilogram, you're like, oh my goodness, what am I doing? What am I doing wrong? So basically, recomposing your body. So just as like a visual, like a kg of fat is like this much, right? Where like a kg of muscle hypothetically is like that much,
Okay.
right? So you can see the size, like proportional difference. So when you're trading off fat for muscle, your scale weight is not an accurate representation of weight loss.
Oh, is it? So the scale
Yeah.
weight is not an accurate representation of the weight loss.
Yeah, especially if you're training to gain muscle, right?
Okay. Can you
Because-
decipher this for us quickly?
Because if you're losing a kilogram of fat but gaining a kilogram of muscle, your scale weight is going to stay exactly the same.
Stays the same.
However,
Okay.
your body is going to look and feel completely different having lost a kg of fat and gained a kg of muscle.
Okay.
Okay, so changes like how your body is put together, if that makes sense.
Mm.
Okay, so instead of having fat, you've now swapped that fat for muscle, which then will give you more energy, it will make you stronger, but yet your scale weight will still stay exactly the same. So when we started, my weight actually went up in the beginning, which then I was terrified.
What's
I was
going
like,
on?
yeah, I don't want
What's
to get
going
fatter.
on? That's no, this guy is
Yeah.
like, is this
Yeah.
the wrong program or what?
I
I'm
was
sure
like,
you're
oh my
frustrated.
goodness, I'm just getting bigger, I'm not getting smaller. And
Yeah.
then basically after a while it kind of dropped a little bit, then stayed the same. Then dropped a little bit more, then stayed the same. Then went up a little bit. And then I think for women, a big thing is like knowing your cycle. So, because we are very different to men and how we build and train and like our energy levels and what your body does is very different.
Can you briefly educate me on that just a bit?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So basically, women have
Especially
four-
when you're trying to lose weight as a woman.
Yeah, so women have like 4 phases of their cycle. So you have your menstruation, which is when you're bleeding, right? Then you have your ovulation, which is when you release the egg. You have your luteal phase and you have your follicular phase. So at the different phases in your cycle, you're going to have more or less energy. You're going to be bloated or not bloated. You're going to feel stronger. We're like with men, right? They work on almost a 24-hour cycle clock.
Okay.
Right, so for a man, he will be consistent, right? He feels the same, he'll feel like he's building muscle. He won't wait for a woman. Like, you'll go from 1 week, using a hypothetical, you can lift, about 30 kgs over your head. To next week, you're like struggling with the 20 kgs. And that's because of the cycle. So it's important to know your cycle, know where you're at in your cycle,
Why?
so that you can, especially for yourself, give yourself an accurate representation of what's happening in your body, right? Because if I'm, let's say, menstruating, let's say when I'm ovulating, because women feel really good when they ovulate, right? Your like energy's high, you're feeling good. I'm ovulating, I can squat like 100 kgs. I'm bench pressing 50 kgs. I'm like feeling really good. Then 2 weeks down the line, I'm now menstruating. Yo, to squat like 60 kgs is like hurting. It's difficult, I can barely get it up. Okay, to now bench press the 50, like it's just not moving. Right? And it's purely because your hormonal, we work on a big hormonal cycle.
Okay.
And it's your hormones affecting your energy levels, your muscle strength. So what you need to do is gauge yourself give yourself a fair representation of where you're at.
A fair representation of where
you
you're at.
compare yourself at menstruation with yourself at ovulation. Because you are like almost completely two different people. So where a man can compare himself from day to day, you almost have to compare yourself from month to month rather than day to day.
Okay.
So because we work on a monthly cycle.
Okay.
Women work on a daily cycle.
Okay, interesting. Good to know. Okay, so now people want practical things to do. I understand the whole psychology and everything behind, but people want to actually have steps to follow to get them to their goals. And remember now that 85% statistically of people are visual creatures.
Yeah.
So what is it that we can pinpoint that's worked for you that can perhaps work for other people? Like 1, 2, 3, you know what I mean?
Big things was in the beginning was actually when you told me to stay off the scale.
Mm-hmm.
That made a big difference for me because then I stopped feeling so discouraged by a scale weight thing. So I think in the beginning of your journey, leave the scale alone. So hop on before you start.
Okay.
Get all your measurements, and particularly use like a tape measure and measure yourself. Write it all down, and then stay away from it for a while. Just train, and then for me, I really struggled with my diet. So I was swinging between extremes. So I would go on a super strict diet, eat like 1,000 calories a day. And yeah, I'm going to lose weight because my calories are super low. But then all I had was intense cravings all the time. Like I wanted McDonald's, I wanted chocolate, I wanted ice cream, I used to crave chocolate cake, things like that. And I would not allow myself to have it until one day I would give in and then I'd eat like 4,000 calories a day.
Okay.
Right. Well, now what I've done is given myself a more sustainable diet. So I eat food that I actually like, but I've just changed it in ways to make it higher protein, lower calories. So finding like substitutes that you actually enjoy. I think you need to be on a diet that you enjoy. If you feel like you have to cheat on your diet, then it's not sustainable. A diet's like a relationship, you cannot be cheating on it, or it's not going to be long lasting. So I think that's important. And then for me, I've been using my clothes as a measurement. So this shirt, when we started, was tight, right? So I think using something like the clothing, I put on pants yesterday that I had not worn since we started because I literally could not get them up.
I see.
And like this shirt, I keep all my baggy clothes basically as a comparison to where we started. So like there's clothing items, even these like pants, right? Like I can pull them, they loose. Things that didn't fit now fit. So that for me is a really nice comparison.
So you also changed your measurements, so measurements were different?
Different, yeah. So I literally dropped 10 centimeters around my waist. And my body fat went from 40% to 29%, which is quite a significant drop in body fat, especially for a woman.
Okay,
cool. We struggle to drop body fat.
Okay, so the most important thing in your weight loss journey, obviously, it's 75% what you eat. Nutrition. So, what is nutrition to you at this point in time with your weight loss journey?
Yeah, so for me, I tried all the hectic dieting tricks, sticking to specific meals, so following a diet plan if you want.
Yeah.
And for me, I've taken it to every extreme. I have tried all of them.
Yeah.
And I could not stick to a diet. I used to eat broccoli, chicken, and rice. And I'd be really, really good. Stick to my diet, stick to like 1,200 calories a day until the cravings became so intense that I would then go and give in to the cravings and eat like 4,000 calories. Right? Which then meant all the dieting that I'd done throughout the whole week or whatever was basically now counteracted by the fact that I went and binge ate, if you want. So now for me, for my diet, I have like specific meals that I really like, and I eat food that I like to eat. I don't just eat chicken, broccoli, and rice. So I've taken some of my like favorite foods and just changed them, like how I make them, in order to reduce the calories and increase the protein. So you find like nice substitutes. And yes, it does mean that you have to read the packaging labels and things, because some of your favorite diet foods are the highest calorie foods on the market. And because they're low carb or keto or whatever, we all eat them thinking that they're great for dieting. They are not. So for me, and then I struggle to eat during the day. So because I work a very, very busy job, we tend to get swamped at work and then not eat the whole day. Then when you get home, you're like ravishing and then you want to eat everything inside. So for me, it was about forcing myself to have specific meal times. So like eating on an average day for me, I usually have black coffee with a little bit of sugar before we train.
Just tell me about your breakfast, about your brunch if you have brunch, about your lunch, about your dinner, etc.
So for me, I don't eat breakfast before I train. I have black coffee with a bit of sugar just to give me a little bit of energy before. It's kind of like a pre-workout, if you want.
Pre-workout is like a bit of
Coffee and a little bit of sugar just to spike my blood sugar before we train, because my blood sugar is usually low.
No, like quick snack like banana.
So I don't feel like, because we train so early in the morning, I really struggle to eat. So the coffee is something I can consume with a bit of sugar
With sugar.
Yeah, just to give me that little bit of energy, because we train at 5 a.m. So before that, I do not want to eat. Then after we train, it'll either be, if I am going to go home, then I'll make like egg whites and some potatoes and some chicken bacon or chicken sausage, right? So that it's high in protein, because I try and get a lot of my protein early in the day.
Okay.
If I don't go home, so if I go straight to work, then I like to make a Greek yogurt bowl, basically with Greek yogurt. It has a bit of protein powder to increase the protein intake. And then I'll put some like fresh berries or something, so add some fiber, some vitamins. And that really keeps me full for most of the day. So I don't tend to snack during the day because I'm busy at work. So I actually have to force myself to eat lunch. So I always pack lunch for myself. And I pack something that's easy, like I can pick it up in my hand and eat it. I don't have to like warm it up or anything like that, because otherwise it's too much effort. And then I just leave it and I don't eat it. So I like to make things like low carb wraps with chicken or steak or something, just to keep the protein so that I feel satiated and full until dinner time. Then for dinner, I make things that I actually enjoy eating. So if I want spaghetti bolognese, I'll make spaghetti bolognese, but I just switch out things that increase the calories and things like that. So using, like when you make your mince, using something like the Mrs. Ball's light chutney, right, significantly drops the calories to using normal chutney. Like it's easy swaps like that can take your like meal from 700 calories down to 400 calories, you know, which then is still, it's satisfying because it's what you want, right? It's what you feel like eating. It's nice and warm, but you've dropped your calories, which then inevitably means you will lose weight. Yeah.
So if you can just give me an overall, your overall consumption as per food, what do you eat? Do you eat maybe, what dominates your meals?
Protein.
What type of protein?
So I eat a lot of chicken breast because I like chicken. So for me,
chicken.
So then I'll eat like chicken breast, chicken sausage, steak. Obviously, red meat's very good for women, so that you consume enough iron. I eat prawns, like shrimp and stuff. It's very low calories for very high protein. Fish, it's good to eat fish like twice a week for your omega-3s and stuff like that. And then I also have things like lentils and stuff that I add to my food, which also are like non-meat based proteins. And then
now. So the elephant in the room, I believe this is the most significant aspects of our podcast that you guys are waiting for. The actual figures. How many centimeters have you lost? How much actual weight have you lost? What is your body fat percentage? What is your scale percentage right now? Like actual figures. Because hey man, numbers don't lie. Exactly. Numbers don't lie, right?
Exactly.
Okay, let's go.
So from my waist, I started at 83 centimeters and I'm down to 75 centimeters.
Okay, we started at 83 centimeters.
And we're down to 75 centimeters.
Then it's down to 75 centimeters.
Yeah.
So how many centimeters?
That's 8 centimeters.
8 centimeters you lost.
Yeah.
On your waist.
And my waist, yeah.
Okay.
And then from the bust, we started at 101 and now we're 94. Yeah.
101 to 94.
Yeah.
So how many is that?
That is 7 centimeters.
7 centimeters, yeah.
And then from the hips, we went from 110 to 100 centimeters.
The
we lost 10 centimeters on the hips.
10 centimeters. Which section? This
widest part here.
by the figure aspect?
Yeah.
Hey, so you lost 10 centimeters then?
Yeah.
Hey. Okay.
And then body fat percentage went from 38.7 to 29.6.
38.7 to 29.6. Roughly,
Yeah.
how many is that?
So that drops almost by 10.
Whoa.
Yeah,
So-
almost by 10%.
Okay, that's good. The body percentage dropped by like 10%.
10%.
10%.
Yeah, which is a lot in the time we've been training.
Yeah.
And then
And,
my
and, it's
actual
not,
weight.
and by the way, it's not easy
To
dropping
body
the
fat.
body fats. You can
Yeah.
drop the weight,
Yeah,
but
'cause
the,
then you can
body,
lose the
the
muscle.
actual body fats,
Yeah, and
so
then
that's quite
the actual,
that's important.
Yeah, the actual scale weight went from, we started at 85 kgs, and now 84, 85, and now we are 68 kgs.
So how many kgs are we looking at there?
16.
About 16 kgs.
Yeah, it's like a small kid.
And then what
Yeah.
else?
That's the measurements.
Okay, the other important measurement is your mental department.
No, that's
so
right.
It's
You
a
can't even
mental
compare.
department. It's a mental department.
Yeah, that you can't even
How's
compare.
that department going? So you started maybe from this section or rather from this area, and which area are you in now?
So, I mean, I was a very anxious, depressed person when we started. And I was on medication to deal with my panic attacks and my anxiety. And I'm no longer on the medication. And I haven't had a panic attack since we started training.
Okay, cool. Let's
Yeah.
highlight this. You started as someone who had high anxiety levels,
Yep.
but now you've transformed or rather transitioned to someone who's
Yeah, I would say I still
Actually-
have anxiety sometimes, but now
it's
I
more
can cope.
different.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then you were taking pills,
I was on medication, yeah.
but now you're no longer taking
I no
pills.
longer need to
Oh,
take it. So now when I feel anxious, I usually go for a walk or I come train or something like that.
Oh man, that's priceless.
Right.
There's not
And
even
the-
figures we can put to measure one moving from that state to this state. It's gold.
Exactly.
It's gold.
And the other comparison is my skin. When we started, do you remember I had the acne?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, now no longer have acne. Anyway, yeah.
And then also your face was a bit
Yeah.
full,
Oh,
but
yeah.
now it's
No,
like
it's
that.
slimming
Your
out.
neck is doing like,
Yeah,
nice.
slimming out.
Wow, stunning. And then what else?
I mean, just overall, I have more energy. I used to wake up and need an energy drink to get out of bed.
Uh-huh.
Now I don't drink energy drinks anymore at all. Like I can get out of bed, I wake up early, comfortable, I sleep better.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, stunning. Okay, cool. So yeah, what would you like to say to the fitness family, to anyone who's perhaps inspired by your growth, by how you are pushing yourself?
I would say just show up. That is my motto. Even when like today, I'm a bit sick. And it's just like you don't have to train 110% every day.
Yeah.
Like some days, even if you give it 30%, but if you show up,
If
it
you
makes
show
a
up.
huge difference. Right? Because it's easy to not show up and to give up. But if you just show up, come to the gym, walk on the treadmill for 15 minutes, do something, it makes a huge difference.
So if you were to start all over again, let's say today hypothetically was your first day at the gym,
Yeah.
with all the challenges you've had, like
Yeah.
overweight, etc., what would you do? Not differently, or rather, what would you do? What steps would you take? 3 steps.
3 steps. So the first one would be to just start. Like no,
Start.
and stop worrying what everybody else thinks. Nobody cares about what you're doing. Like like don't worry about other people at the gym. Nobody's judging you. Everyone's just trying to figure out their own stuff. Because I think for someone that's overweight or hasn't trained before, it's a big concern. It's like, oh my god, everyone's going to think I'm stupid or I don't know what I'm doing or I'm too fat to be here. So yeah, forget about what everybody else thinks. Just start and get yourself someone that can support you through, whether that is a friend that already is training, or if you can, get yourself a trainer. Just someone that can get you started and like guide you on the right track. Yeah, because for me, getting a trainer was a huge turning point for me in the gym. Yeah.
So quick one before I let you go. You work hard, right? You are a
Yeah.
doctor, but still you manage to come to gym. And do you define that as your work-life balance?
I would, yes. You will always balance what is a priority to you. You are never too busy for what's important. And that's at the end of the day. So anything in life, we work normal days, we work from 7 until sometimes 6 or even up to 8 p.m. at night. And then we also do 26-hour shifts once or twice a week. But for me, gym is really important. So what I do is to ensure that I do come to gym. I come at 5 in the morning and you and I train at 5 a.m. because then I know that I've done my training session because it's important to me, and I make sure that I come to gym at least 4, maybe 5 times a week.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's quite interesting, that examination. Cool. All right, guys. Yeah.